Mackenzie Johnston with Cattle News Central, bringing you your August 29th cattle industry headlines. Brought to you by Ag Risk Advisors. They manage your risk so you can manage your operation. They are the experts in educating, evaluating, and executing risk management programs for each individual operation while also providing top-notch customer service. Now is the time to be thinking about enrolling in the pasture rangeland forage program for the 2023 crop year. If you want to learn more about this, go ahead and reach out to my friend Alex Anea. He can set you up with a tracking policy so you can understand how the program works firsthand. Ag Risk Advisors, risks averted, legacies preserved. We are also sponsored by Circle 5 Cow School. If you want to learn how to preg check your own cows or start AIing, Circle 5 Cow School is definitely the way to go. Almost every week, they are hosting classes somewhere between Texas and Tennessee. They do a fantastic job. To check out their schedule, head on over to www.circle5cowschool.com. That is the number 5 in there. Or you can go ahead and just give them a follow on Facebook. NTV News out of Grand Island has reported that PETA is claiming to have received federal reports alleging workers at the JBS plant in Grand Island used a paddle to strike 2 cows numerous times back in February. Because of this, the animal activist group is now calling for the meat giant to live stream video of its operations. Besides PETA's complaint about workers using paddles to move cattle, they're also saying that back in January, a federal agent observed a water trough splitting 2 pens that was frozen solid, so the cattle in those 2 pens were not able to access water. Then here in August, 500 cows were found without water, and then last year in November of 2021, a cow remained conscious after being shot in the head, lifting its legs and head in an attempt to escape. And this is all according to PETA. According to PETA Vice President of Evidence Analysis, Daniel Payton, the JBS plant in Grand Island is a notorious hell on earth for animals, where cows have long endured terror while being beaten, repeatedly shot in the head, and more. Because of this, PETA is now calling on JBS Foods to help prevent more suffering by live streaming video of its operations in the plant down in Grand Island. The group is also reminding everyone that the only humane meal is a vegan meal. Drovers has reported, with the rising cost of animal proteins as well as environmental concerns, scientists are now working to develop another protein alternative, one we have talked about before on here, mealworms. According to the Food and Ag Organization of the United Nations, over 2 billion people across the globe already consume insects as part of their diet. The project's principal investigator, Dr. In-hee Cho, claims there's an increased interest in eating insects. Not only are insects better for the environment and cheaper for consumers, they also contain high amounts of fatty acids, minerals, vitamins, fiber, and high-quality protein. Even though mealworms won't be taking any market share away from traditional protein anytime soon, in my opinion, Cho is hopeful that the study's results will contribute to the commercial development of meat-like savory flavorings and seasonings, and will also encourage the convenience food industry to include edible insects in their products. I'm sure those products would just fly right off the shelf. This update is also sponsored by 4T Ag Insurance, your go-to contractor for ag insurance. Colt Tritt, he is the owner and operator of 4T Ag. He is a one-man show, and he himself ranches, so he understands the livestock industry. 4T Ag, they offer LRPs on both fed and feeder cattle. They offer PRF insurance and just about any other insurance option out there. If you want to learn more, head on over to www.4taginsurance.com. Meeting Place has reported University of Oxford economists and environmental scientists have determined that an environmental tax on retail meat products could help lower greenhouse gas emissions in high-income countries. The researchers found that the average retail price of beef would need to be increased by 35 to 65% to reflect the environmental cost to produce it. Poultry prices, they would need to increase by 25%, and lamb and pork, they would need to be increased by 19%. Of course, there is extreme opposition to such a tax, but researchers claim a meat tax can be designed in ways to increase public support. One way to do this is for legislators to simultaneously combine meat taxes with other social policies. So the chance of a meat tax actually coming to fruition is just about as probable as Americans beginning to eat mealworms or grasshoppers. But it is important to be aware of all these discussions that are basically focused on cutting back on the livestock industry and agriculture as a whole. Finally, Yahoo News has reported, according to recent estimates from the USDA, more than 531,000 acres across California went unplanted this year due to drought. That's a 36% increase year over year. This situation, of course, will result in a downfall in crop production, which couldn't come at a worse time with food prices continuing their upward trajectory and places around the world starting to deal with food shortages. The U.S. government reported earlier this month that food at home prices increased 1.3% in July, and year over year food at home prices, they increased a whopping 13.1%. That is all I have for you guys. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope you guys stayed cool. It was a warm one here in central Nebraska, and it looks like it's gonna be another hot week. You guys have a great day. I'll catch you later.